Hello guys and welcome to another Albion video. In today's video we are gonna be talking about DTANKs, their roles, how they work, and everything else that you need to know about them. This is part of our series into the introduction of ZvZ content. So let's get started. First of all, I want to say that DTANKs are probably my favorite role in a ZvZ. You are gonna be having a lot of fun. You're gonna be able to actually see and enjoy most of the fight, and you're gonna be able to actually survive, right? Like the DTANKs are just so much fun, right? So as like the other videos that I made before, let's watch some videos of DTANKs in actions, explaining what they do, how they do it, and so on. But before we do that, maybe something I should have done on the previous videos, let me show you some of the builds right off the bat. What I'm about to show you are builds that are used in my guild, so it might not, you just use them as reference, right? These are some DTANKs builds, and perhaps your guild plays in a different way, therefore they have different guild builds, right? So, all right, let's go ahead and take a look. So here we are, we got a few examples of the DTANK builds. I personally like to play in a very kitey way. My composition is normally clump and dump. It is not of a brawler composition. Therefore, I like to be able to move a lot, right? Now, why am I saying that? Because if you notice the weapons I have right here, most of them help me being able to move around with the different armor sets and their roles and everything else. I'm gonna be talking about more about that here in a moment, right? So, but to be able to fully understand what I'm trying to say, you first need to understand that what is the role of a DTANK. A DTANK, just like the name says it, is a defensive tank, right? So the DTANK is in essence the feet and the arms of your of your Zerg, of your group. They are the ones who allow you to move forward. They are the ones that allow you to retreat. And they are the ones that, if they do a good job, allow you to stay alive. That's their job. Their job in different ways is to be able to keep you alive with different methods. So let's go ahead and talk about those methods here in a moment. All right, let's take a look at this example. In this fight, we were walking in between these two trees, right? The enemy is walking around the two trees. I am trying to chase them, but we got too comfortable here trying to attack this one guy by himself, right? I realized too late that the enemy already went all the way around and they're about to hit my entire backline. This is bad. They hit my entire backline and I lose the fight, right? So you can actually see in this moment right here, this is the enemy clapper right here. He's about to engage here and then pull them back towards the to be able to clap us, pretty much. He is on a hutch. So this is very dangerous. So you're gonna see how he just goes ahead and jumps into my backline. Boom. He gets denied, thankfully, by the phase skill. So good job on my backline with the phase skill. But you can already see the carpet happening. The enemy is already about to engage. Here's the carpet about to appear, and the enemy DPS about to appear as well, right? So I want you to take a close look at my DTANK. My DTANK is all the way over here because I was going on the wrong direction. Here's my DTANK, right? He notices what's about to happen. He understands that he needs to make sure that we need to survive. That's his job, right? So the enemy... Oh, sorry, guys. All right, back to where we were. The enemy is coming in with a... Sorry, the enemy is coming back in with a carpet. They clap us in this moment. I'm already clapped by the hutch. I am already clapped. Boom, and immediately, I hope you didn't lose sight of my DTANK. My DTANK was here. He already jumped with his W, right? And he's gonna catch the entire enemy DPS. He catches them, and he silences them. You can see the silence is right there. This is the circle. They're all silenced. He root all of them, and because he did a good job as a DTANK, as a defensive tank, allow me to survive the clap and my entire backline. Everybody's alive thanks to him. He single-handedly just allowed us to win this fight. He single-handedly, by paying attention, understanding what's about to happen, is able to save us and allow us for a counter clap. So immediately what happens next is that we counter clap. And we win. There we go. This is a perfect example of what a DTANK needs to do. The DTANK responsibility is to keep you and everybody alive, and by making their role properly, by trading his abilities to deny the entire clap of the enemy, opens an opportunity for us to engage again. Let's go ahead and look at another example. In this fight, we are fighting against a group, we're in a friendly fight against Vodafone, right? I want you first to take a really close look about positioning right after the first clap. The first clap happens, and the first things you need to notice is the reactions of the DTANKs, right? You can see defensives already on the floor. This is a guard rune. We're gonna go over it here in a moment. You can see the enemy has these red little signs, like shield signs all around it. That's the demon armor. That is the DTANK's job. They're making sure that their party is alive. So I'm showing you this so you can see the reaction of how both teams on this instance are trying to react to each other's abilities by using different defensive abilities from the chests and all the utility they have to be able to stay alive, right? So as you can see, the clap was pretty good, but everybody's alive. And that is thanks to the DTANKs, the front lines and the backline DTANKs. Their job is to be able to tank and allow everybody else to tank the damage, right? So we will be showcasing a lot of these abilities so you guys can understand exactly what I mean. Here you can see a perfect example of one of our DTANKs using their abilities to fall back. They're falling back with the demon armors right there. The maracas, which is this guy. No, it's not this guy over here, but somewhere in there is places this ability so they can fall back, and the moment you go in, you can see these people getting shields, right? Like all of these, I want you to pay attention to all of this because this is the job of all the DTANKs, making sure everybody is alive and well, right? You can see DTANKs placing these movement speed debuffs on the floor. Like they are the ones who allow for both parties to be able to reset. The enemy has their shields up as well. They have their demon armors up. Everybody's working in unison to be able to reset properly. That's the job of the DTANKs. Now that the reset is complete, the second engage happens. Now, I wanted to show this as well because the DTANK can be worked very offensively and very defensively as well. You're gonna see what I mean here in a moment. Boom. You saw that? 2 rings, 1 friendly, 1 enemy. This is literally a DTANK right here and another DTANK right here using 2 abilities. Again, they are making sure both Zergs get enough time to breathe. Both Zergs are saying, okay, we need to get those cooldowns reset. We need a time. What does these rings represent? These rings are inertia rings that normally you get them from the hammers. These slow down the enemy a lot, right? So these 2 guys understand the role. They place them on the floor to deny this Zerg to move forward and denied this Zerg to move forward, right? So this creates space, makes it so this Zerg can breathe and get their cooldowns ready. You can see how they are still putting silences on the floor. They're constantly working and making sure everybody is okay. Immediately nothing is going on, and you can see judicators are being placed as well because they know it's about that, a fight is about to hit, so they want to make sure their backline, the moment they move forward, they get the resistances up. You can see another DTANK here using a wind wall ability to create even more space, and at the same time the caller in this instance, in this image right now, is already calling for a clap. So the clap is about to happen. How do you know that? Because the clapper right here is coming in for the clap. He's about to go in, and there is a sticky bomb. Did you saw who launched that sticky bomb? It was a DTANK. The DTANKs on the floor are making so much work, right? You can pay attention at the clapper, right? Pay attention at the clapper. The clapper is communicating. Obviously, we don't have the audio right now, but he's about to move this way, and he's gonna go and clap in this direction, right? This information is being provided to everybody on the Zerg. The reaction is This person right here goes upon a wind wall to push everybody into the choke, make sure everybody's on the choke. And at the same time, this DTANK right here moves in and throws the sticky bomb right on the choke so nobody can escape the clap that is about to happen, right? These are things that DTANKs are allowed to do because they are tanks and they can survive on the front line in many different ways, right? And these are ways how they can not only defend but also be aggressive in a way that they can set up and facilitate the clapper to clap, right? So let's continue watching, and boom, we already got we got the clapper. It's about to go. He's starting to do it. Immediately you see the Neurosi right here. This DTANK sets the wind wall, making sure they cannot pass. And now right here you can actually see it right here. That's the sticky bomb being thrown. Watch that. Boom. Result. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people caught in the clap. Right now the first clap happens, and now me on the golem coming in for the second for the follow-up. Tremendous work. Tremendous work. Immediately the people reset, and the moment they reset, I don't know if you saw it, there is this ring, this blue ring right there. That's a Judicator helmet being used by right here, this DTANK right there. And at the same time, he's putting an Inertia Ring, right? This is the Inertia Ring that's about to spawn. The moment the clap is done, the DTANKs are already working and making sure that if there's a counter clap, to make it harder for them. They want to make sure that, okay, we already did the damage, we need to reset, allow us to reset. Let's make sure that we can reset, right? Let's not let them push on our circ, right? So they use all of these abilities to make you stay alive. I'm making so much emphasis on this because the DTANK, like I said at the start, is the feet and arms of a circ. They're the ones who allow you to stay alive. So boom, the inertia rings are in, the damage comes in, the damage comes in from the enemy, and now it's time to counter clap yet again, right? And here's another similar like situation. Like you can see it, the enemy puts inertia rings, the enemy what's the name, DTANK is working to make sure that the rings are placed so the Zerg cannot overwhelm their backline, right? And you need to start appreciating your DTANKs, and I say that to everybody. The DTANKs are super, super important roles, right? I want to show here another instance. Boom, you can see there's a tiny choke. Enemy places a debuff on the floor, again, making sure that their team continues to move forward, continues to stay alive, right? Now, like I was saying, there's different ways to use DTANKs, and experienced DTANKs can get the option to be more aggressive, like what we're about to see. Neurosi right here, the DTANK that we saw before, he's on a Grail Seeker. The Grail Seeker has a very long ability and can root people in place. This is normally used defensively. And now let me be as clear as possible. If you're new to this role, focus on being defensive always. Use your abilities in defensive ways. Now, once you get experience, you can do what Neurosi is about to do. The clapper, which is right here, here's the crown, you can see it, is about to clap. He's already talking with the team. He's about to say, hey guys, I'm clapping in 4 seconds. Neurosi hears this. He has his cooldowns. He understands that the clapper is about to clap. What is he gonna do? He's gonna use his abilities to root the enemy to facilitate the clapper's job. All right, so watch that. Boom, you saw that? That line right there, this right line right here, is a Grail Seeker, and he just stunned 5 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. The enemy sees what's about to happen, has their demon armor up, and the clapper is already coming here on the right side, and me too. Boom, and the clap happens. Immediately, I want you guys to just take a closer look at the, at everybody's work, right? The clap is happening, the DPS over here is engaging, and the rest of the DTANKs, you can see them right on behind my screen over here, making work, making sure the enemy, cannot counter-engage, cannot do anything. The enemy DTANK is trying to create a space so people can retreat to, so we cannot chase them, and there's just so much work going on. It's very important to take a look at these things and think, could all of this have been possible without your DTANKs, right? And then start to realize just how valuable the DTANKs are, because this is coming from personal experience. It's very frustrating to have parties where everybody wants to be DPS when they don't understand that your DTANKs are pretty much what allows you to succeed as a DPS, right? If you have a good DTANK, you're gonna have a better time as a DPS. If you have bad DTANK, you're gonna have a very bad time as a DPS, right? I hope all of these examples and these little breakdowns, analysis on these fights gives you a better picture of how these roles work, right? So let's go ahead and look at the abilities real quick. You have the heavy mace, who is a frontline DTANK. This guy puts silencers on the floor and jumps into silence, right? This is normally the build that you will have for it. The other options is the hammers. The hammers are also very aggressive, very frontline-ish, what's the name? DTANKs. These guys are gonna be deep in the enemy, trying to set up the rings to either retreat or to force the enemy to not to be able to retreat as fast as they can, right? They're gonna help the clappers, make their job easier. You also have the Bedrock, which is one of my favorite DTANKs. These guys are more of a backline DTANK. Normally, they will be running on the backline or in the middle, right? Like on the middle of the circ. And oh no, the clap is coming. You see that they're about to engage us, right? And the what's the name? The Bedrock mace moves forward and boom, denies them coming from that direction, right? Let's say that they manage to pass that. They have Night Helms and they manage to pass that. The clap is about to happen. The Bedrock immediately places a guard rune that gives what's the name? Damage resistances to up to 5 allies within, and it gives them a lot of resistances. You can read it there, and immediately opens this demon armor right after that, right? That is the job of the Bedrock. Then you have other DTANKs that use arcane weapons. For example, the Great Arcane is a fantastically powerful DTANK. This guy will freeze the enemy right on the spot, not allowing them to come, right? So it's a very powerful weapon, but it can also detriment your claps, right? So this one, I would recommend that to only give it to people who are extremely experienced, right? So that's just a short, quick overview of these DTANKs. They normally, if you're a DTANK that is on the middle of the circ, you'll be running with Demon Armor. If you are an aggressive DTANK, you'll be running with a Duskweaver Armor. If you are a backline DTANK, Duskweaver Armor or Guardian Armor, you can also run, if you're in the middle of the circ, with Judicator Armor and so on, right? It really comes down to your own preference. Anyway, this is just a short little overview of DTANKs, trying to make it as in-depth as I could. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope I was able to explain it as properly as I possibly can. If you liked what you saw, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Torres out.